Thanks for listening to PoliticalStorm.com. I'm John Small. Got my son Troy with me. How you doing, Troy?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Get over closer to that microphone there so we can hear you. First of all, I got to say welcome to the podcast. Have you ever had a chance to listen to this podcast before?
No.
My own son.
I'm a busy person.
Big fan.
What can I say?
Big fan.
What can I say?
I think that's funny. Hey, the reason that I wanted to have you on here is because you're, how old are you, 19?
19.
Going to be 20 this year. This will be the first time you've had a chance to vote, right?
Yes.
At least legally, you know.
And, well, it's not like that has mattered.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a Democrat.
Oh, come on now. Got to be careful here. I thought that it would be kind of fun to have you come in and chat. Now, for two reasons. First of all, because of what we're going to do here. Going to do something fun with Google. But also because you're very political minded.
Certainly.
You know,
yeah.
you're pretty well studied on things. So I think this will be kind of fun. Google, for those of you who know how Google works, it's a pretty darn smart website. When I go in there, if I start typing something in, it'll finish my sentence for me. So finish the sentence like if I was, let's just say America's Got Talent. You know, if I want to know who the winner was, I could say, who's the winner of America's Got, and it'll finish the sentence and anything, really. So I decided, let's see what Google thinks of Hillary. So the first thing I did is I just typed in Hillary. And then the very first thing Google said is Hillary lied. And then the second thing was Hillary America. I'm not sure what that means.
Hillary America.
Wasn't Dinesh D'Souza, does he have a book called Hillary's America?
And a movie, yes.
Okay,
but
so I wonder if that's what that's about.
Could be referring to her Hillary America campaign or something.
Oh, does she have a campaign called that?
I don't know. It probably is.
So then I thought, okay, let's get a little more specific. Hillary is. So Google said, first thing, Hillary is toast. The next one, Hillary is finished. So that's what Google says. Now, keep in mind, Google is pretty well known for being operated by some people that are fairly liberal, you know. So I was thinking if anybody was going to stack the deck towards Hillary, you'd think it would have been Google. So then I typed in Hillary is A. Hillary is A. The first thing was Hillary is America. So I'm not sure. That's probably from the same group that came out with the We Delivery menus.
Hillary is America.
Hillary is America. Okay. Then it gets really funny. Hillary is a man. Okay. Hillary is a hawk. All right.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. And then Hillary is a robot. There's apparently a good group of people that think Hillary is a robot. So now, in all fairness, we decided let's do Donald Trump at the same time. So I typed in the same thing. I want to be fair. Trump. First thing I typed, Trump, because remember Hillary lied. Trump news. The second thing, Trump polls. So people checking for Trump news and Trump polls. Then I went with, instead of Hillary is, I put Trump is, and it says Trump is winning. Trump, remember hers was Hillary is toast, Hillary is finished. Trump is winning. Trump is love, Trump is life was the next one, which I don't understand what that is.
You would if you knew.
What does that mean?
Can I say it on air?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's from a comic called Shrek is Love, Shrek is Life.
Okay.
And after we're done here, we're going to have to look that up because you can't play it on the air.
Is this bad? Is it not?
It is very, very screwed up. I'm just going to... It might be one of the most screwed up things I've ever seen in my entire life. I just watched it last night, as a matter of fact.
So I didn't know if this was good or bad. So that we put that in the negative category?
That is negative.
Okay, so Trump is love, Trump is life. And then the next one on there under Trump is going to win. And then I did the Trump is A, just like I did Hillary is A. Remember hers was Hillary is America.
Hillary's a robot, apparently.
Hillary's a robot. Now, Trump is a champ. No, chump. Trump is a chump. Oh, the first one was Trump is awesome. The A spelled out awesome. Trump is awesome. And then Trump is a chump. And then I went Donald Trump, and they were all the same, other than when you get to Donald Trump is, it said Donald Trump. The first one is Donald Trump is awesome. Second one is Donald Trump is orange. And then Donald Trump is going to win. So there you go. You can play this at home on your own Google, by the way. It's not just, my Google that does this. Everybody's Google does this. So anything else that we should Google while we're thinking about Google?
Oh, Shrek is Gary? Love, Shrek is life.
Wait. No, I got to Google Gary Johnson. Gary Johnson.
Gary Johnson is...
So first, just Gary Johnson, and then I'm going to put a space. Polls. Gary Johnson polls. And then Gary Johnson 2016. So then we did we have to say Gary Johnson is. See, this is why I did this ahead of time, because I'm not going to. Gary Johnson, is he married?
Okay.
So there's a bunch of single ladies going,
apparently.
That's my kind of guy right there. And then Gary Johnson is for TPP. And then Gary Johnson is anti-gun. And then Gary Johnson is not socially liberal. And then what was the next one that I did? Was that it? Gary Johnson? No, it's A. Okay. Gary Johnson is a vote for Trump. So, does that mean Gary Johnson is a vote for Trump, or Gary Johnson is a vote for Trump?
It probably means Gary Johnson is a vote for Trump, but even then,
Gary
it still
Johnson
doesn't make
is
sense.
a blank, because there's nothing after it. That's just it for the second one. And then Gary Johnson is anti-gun is the third one. So there we go.
It looks like you weren't the only person to search Gary Johnson is a.
Yeah. Well, I didn't finish the sentence. I just put A to C. This is fun stuff. So, like I said, I encourage you to check that out. I'm going to type in the election. Ooh, make sure that's in. I almost put the erection. That would have been. This would have been an interesting. The election. ELECTION. The election is, and let's see what it says. First one, rigged. The election is rigged. Second one, the election is over. Third, from Google, the election is fake. And fourth, the election is not rigged.
So you got half the people on Google searching, is the election rigged? And half the other people are saying, is it not rigged?
So the first one says the election is rigged, then it's over, then it's fake, then it's not rigged. So there you go. A little bit of fun with Google, and you can, like I said, you can play at home. There's the home game as well if you have a computer or a tablet or a phone.
Try this at home, people.
Yeah, that'd be fun stuff. So I just have to ask you for your opinion on the election thus far. Again, huge fan of the podcast. My son, Troy Small, he's never listened, ever. I knew he hasn't. I've asked him to chime in the past. I said, hey, you should start writing a blog. He's a writer. He's a really politically minded, very smart kid. Works for a political party right now. So I'm like, hey, you should get involved at politicalstorm.com. He's like, yeah, Dad, sure, I'll do that one of these days. I'm busy. Got to go see ya. And I'm like, all right, hey, now I got you at the house. You're going to be on the podcast. And I knew you've never listened before.
I'm being held against my will. Help me.
My son, he's been held hostage in our studio. So my question is on this election. Again, in all fairness, we should probably let people know that you work for the GOP. Mm-hmm. So you probably got a pretty right-leaning perspective on things. But how do things look from where you're sitting on the presidential election?
Well, are you asking me who do I think is going to win or who I want to win? Or both?
Well, let's ask both. We'll start with who do you want to win?
I can't have Hillary win this election.
You can't have.
If it was, I would, at this point, probably rather vote for Pol Pot than Hillary Clinton.
Who?
Pol Pot was the dictator of Cambodia, founder of the Khmer Rouge and
See,
the Killing
this is
Fields.
Why I have you on the program. You and Dennis Miller would get along great. You guys
Probably.
have all these really bizarre things that you know that nobody else knows. So that was who you want to win. Who do you think is going to win?
I don't want Hillary Clinton to win, and I don't want Pol Pot to win. I'm just saying that of the two, Pol Pot's looking pretty good right now.
He's not running. So
he's not running, fortunately,
but
so
I
don't have to make that decision.
Who would you like to, what do you think is going to happen? If you were going to guess right now, let's pretend like we get to fast forward in today's election day, and I understand this is kind of early because we have 2 months.
Right.
Hillary's been in hiding. She's not doing press conferences, but pretty soon that's going to come to an end. There was just a lot of damning news that came out over the weekend. This is Labor Day weekend. This is a great weekend to sneak out the bad news that you don't want people to talk about because people are busy. It's a busy weekend. We're going to have like 4 people that hear this podcast. Nobody's listening this weekend. Okay, there's probably somebody. I know you're listening, and I'm just teasing. But this is the weekend that the news came out that, remember, she was saying, I only used one device. All I ever had was one device. No, it turns out 20 devices. Yeah.
Is that
20. 13 of which were one type of device. A couple of those, when they were done with them, they smashed them with hammers. Who does this?
Maybe people are trying to hide something.
That's kind of what it sounds like. I just think it was really interesting that little tidbit had to come out on Labor Day weekend when people are busy, throwing some s'mores together for the last time of the year.
Well, no matter what, it's not like the media is going to report that anyway.
Well, it was in the media today. That's how I found out. They're talking about, well, this staffer smashed the blackberries with a hammer. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? This doesn't sound like something that happens in a campaign. This sounds like something that happened in a really bad B movie that, nobody watched.
Well, Nixon didn't destroy the evidence, and that's what caused that to happen. So
I guess they
thought ahead. They learned from his mistakes.
Smashed these things with hammers, and then they bleached whatever that is. They bleached the hard drives, because they got nothing to hide. It's just about Chelsea's wedding and some yoga classes.
Right.
I mean, that's how we get rid of that stuff.
Grandchildren and
that's how it goes. So again, back to you, Troy.
Okay, back to me.
What do you think is going to happen? It's election day. It's all over and done with. The next morning, we wake up and we see in the newspaper, which, I'm using paper, but most people will click on it. What is the headline? Blank is president. Who do you think it is?
Dewey defeats Truman.
Okay, but who do you think is going to be?
For seriousness, and I know people don't really care what some 19-year-old schmuck from South Dakota thinks about the presidential election. But, so what I think is going to happen, I think Donald Trump is going to be the 45th president of the United States.
All right.
And I think that he's going to win either in a landslide, which I think is more likely, or it's going to be a very narrow election, because the thing about it is...
Wait a minute. He's going to win in a landslide, or it's going to be close.
We know it's going to be Trump, because I honestly don't think, unless she manipulates the Electoral College, there's no way that Hillary Clinton could possibly be the next president of the United States. She doesn't have the popularity.
They have polls that are showing that she's really popular. Now, the polls show that, but the actual events don't show that. I was looking at event photos from a Clinton event. There were 200 people at this event. And then you look at the event photos from the Trump rallies, and there's thousands of people packed in these events. When he shows up, people are there. They want to hear this guy. When she shows up, it's not the same. But one of the things that I will say about the Democratic Party is, I think, even though she was smashing blackberries, that'd be a great name for a band, by the way.
Smashing blackberries.
Smashing blackberries to hide evidence. They're still standing by their man, or in this case, woman. They're saying, no, she's the one. There was
going to be their downfall.
Talking about people understand that she's not honest. The first thing on here, Hillary lied. That was the first thing Google said about her. So they know that she's not being 100% honest, but they're saying, hey, I'm voting for her anyway. Now, you look at the Republican Party, which you work for now. And I got to say, there are some people out there that go, well, I was for Cruz, and I'm not going to vote for Trump, so I guess I'm going to just vote for some, I'm not going to vote, or I'm going to vote for Gary Johnson. So if that kind of thinking in the Republican Party, where they're saying, you don't deserve my vote,
right,
that's going to hand them Hillary Clinton.
I don't necessarily think that'll be the case, because you have a lot of, and hear me out here, and this is why I say it's either going to be a landslide or it's going to be a
really close
small victory. And the reason I say this is because it's one or the other. So the reason that I say it's going to be one or the other is because the first one, if it's going to be a landslide, obviously Trump's popularity was underrated. That people really, and the media, exactly. And the media, I saw once on SNL, they said that Trump is the kind of candidate who people, just so nobody thinks of them badly, is going to say, oh yeah, I don't support Trump. And then when it comes time to actually vote for Trump, they wind up voting for Trump. And so social perspective has a lot on that also. But let's be real here. We know that the mainstream media isn't exactly honest in their reporting these days.
They're leaning very much to the left.
So their polls are obviously going to reflect that Hillary Clinton is doing better in the campaign than Trump is. But
I don't understand why you would do that. Here, let me hear me out on this.
Right.
If you really want to help your candidate, don't make your candidate think they're doing better than they're really doing, because then when they lose, they're going to be really confused. I mean, if they know that they're not doing well, they need to know that so they can actually try a little harder in certain areas. But if they're reading polls going, oh, wow, sunshine, lollipops, things are good.
I think that's a lot of the reason why Hillary is playing it safe while Donald Trump is going to Mexico and having meetings with the Mexican president.
Seem very presidential.
Preemptive, very diplomatic, whereas Hillary Clinton is kind of in hiding at the moment because she thinks she doesn't really need to do this extra effort because she's going to win the election anyway. And the mainstream media is a very powerful tool to sway public opinion, and I think that they know that, especially when the left is so influential in what the mainstream media reports.
I'm sorry. While you were talking about Hillary and hiding, I was going to see if I typed in "is Hillary Clinton hiding?" I was going to put that in Google. I typed in "is Hillary Clinton?" First thing said is Hillary Clinton dead? Apparently she is in hiding. They think she's dead.
Plenty of dead people around Hillary Clinton.
Oh, yeah. Let's not even go down that road. Troy, thank you for taking some time to visit with me.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I know it was really hard to get you in here to chat with me. And
well, if I'm available another time,
I coaxed him into the studio and, tricked him into sitting down and talking on the podcast. I just thought it would be good to have a young person's perspective because I'm not a young person anymore. Oh, by the way, right after "is Hillary Clinton dead?" it says, "is Hillary Clinton left-handed?" Do you know? Is she left-handed?
I don't know. She could be ambidextrous for all I know.
She had a BlackBerry in each hand.
Smashing BlackBerries with both hands.
All right. Thanks, Troy.
You're welcome.
Again, my son, Troy Small. And again, I'm John Small for PoliticalStorm.com. You can chime in at PoliticalStorm.com. You can write a blog, Troy. You can also, if you want to put a podcast on there, you can do that. If you've got videos you'd like to share, whatever you'd like to do, PoliticalStorm.com. It's not just about us telling you what's going on. We want you to tell us what's going on, too. Go and check it out at PoliticalStorm.com. Thanks for listening. I'm John Small.